walking, coming down the stairs to the train station, and this lady and I guess her co-worker or her girlfriend, whatever, they're talking, and she's like, girl, I ain't finished my Christmas shopping. So the lady's like, um, you don't got that much time left. Hey you guys. Okay, so it is Tuesday night, and basically I just had a very chill day. I did not much today. I kind of just relaxed and laid on the couch, watched some TV, finished up my laundry, I folded some clothes. But I really didn't do much. I had planned to do a lot more, but my body was just like, girl, take advantage of these hours that you don't have to do nothing. And that is what I did. But I just got off the phone with a homegirl of mine, and we were talking for a good, I want to say 40 minutes. And that's like unheard of for me because I don't talk on the phone. I really don't like speaking on the phone. If you're a new subscriber of mine, then you might not have heard me say this, but if you are an old subscriber of mine, you definitely have heard me speak about not really liking to talk on the phone. I've never been, and it may not seem like it from my videos, and people that know me, that watch, mainly my family, you know, they know me, but I'm really not a talky type of person. Like, so my vlogs is definitely a way for me to just get whatever the hell is on the top of my brain out without having to have like a back and forth sort of situation. And that may sound selfish, right? Because like I want to say what I need to say, but I don't necessarily have to engage when I'm vlogging because it's just me talking to a camera. But even from when I was younger, my cousins would always call me on the phone, and I would just have to cut them off. Like, all right, gotta go, because I always had something else to do, and I just did not like being on the phone. I'm just not a phone person. Never have been. Like, it's just what it is. But so me being on the phone for long periods of time, I must really like you, or our conversation must be extremely great. For me to be on the phone for a certain amount of time. But anyway, so I was speaking. I really don't want to hold this camera. Hold on, you guys. I want you guys to have good light. So I was on the phone and I was speaking with my girlfriend, and we were kind of talking about some business things, and she was sharing with me a conversation that she just had with another group of her friends, just about people who, mainly women and girlfriends, that don't support each other, and why people don't support each other, or why is there always so much competition among each other in our communities, or any type of communities, your neighborhood, your social media, church, all these different places. Like, there's always so much competition. And we kind of just like started throwing things out there, like why we think there's competition. Like, we took it back, and I remember when I was in high school, like, you felt like, well, if you didn't have the latest, greatest name brand clothes, that you were not going to fit in. Like, you were not going to be accepted by your peers and things like that. We were talking about Jordans, and, now that we're adults, we talk about if you don't have a house, or if you don't have a certain car, or if you don't dress a certain way, you don't make a certain amount of money, your peers or others may look at you a certain way. And I kind of just wanted to talk about that a little bit, because I feel like it kind of goes both ways, and I'll speak from my own experience. Like, if you've been watching me for a while, and I always say that, but I feel like if you've been watching me for a while, then you kind of have a grasp of who I am somewhat, and, what I come from and that sort of thing. Like, I feel like for myself, like, when I was younger, it was like so many hard times. Like, there were times where I would cry because I did not want to go to school, because my hair wasn't done. Just like I don't really share too many personal things, but stuff like that. I remember, this sounds so crazy because it really doesn't even, well, it does. I remember one time my mom had gotten into an accident, right? And a car had hit her car on the passenger side, and I was on the passenger side. I wasn't hurt or anything like that, but the car had, back in the days they made cars really well. It was like an older car. The car had a big indentation on the passenger side, right? And I remember crying my eyes out because I did not want my mom to drop me off at my school with this damn dent in her car. And I cried, and I begged my dad to take me to school in his car. But his schedule really did not allow for him to drop me to school. So it was like either my mom was going to take me or they was going to have to make other arrangements for me to get to school. My school was too far at the time for me to travel on my own or anything like that. So, and I think about it now to think how my mind was thinking then as a young person. Like, I did not want to be embarrassed because my mom had a dent on the side of her car, right? So I don't even know how old I was, but I can clearly remember that. And I do remember like my mom sitting down and telling me like there's people's parents who do not even have cars, that walk miles to school or have to take public transportation, and it takes them 2-3 hours to get to school. Like, be grateful that your mom has a car that's fully functional, and the only thing that's wrong with it is cosmetic, and stop worrying about what other people think or what other people are saying and that sort of thing. And at the time, even with all of that talk and all of that, I still did not get it. I still did not want my mom's rolling up at my school with this hunk of junk in my head. It was a hunk of junk, right? So now let's fast forward now. Me being a grown up, me having been through a lot of life things, me having experienced some really, really hard times, and me busting my butt to get to a point in my life where I feel like I'm comfortable, in my life. Now, my way of thinking is just like completely different, and I really could care less like what anybody thinks. Like, I have friends now that make, I want to say, way more money than I make, but I don't feel any type of way about them making more money than I make. Some people would feel intimidated, like, oh, well, this person is making 3 times the amount of money I'm making. Like, oh, I can't hang out with them. Oh, I can't go to places that they go. Oh, I can't shop where they shop. Yeah, I don't feel that way. Like, I'm not gonna make myself feel less of a person, or like I am not equal to you because your salary may be higher than mine, maybe because you decided to go to school longer than I did or whatever. Like, I don't feel those type of things. Like, and I don't feel the need to compete with women, but I feel like in this in these like social networks or whatever, like even at work, like people are always in competition with each other, like always ready to stab you in the back, always ready to like one up you, like, let's say I use YouTube for example. Let's say you go and you purchase a new camera, right? Mind you, let's do the background. You were using whatever you had, your phone, whatever, your webcam, what have you, right? And you finally went out and got you, a bad camera, and you went and purchased you some background, some lighting, or whatever, because you really taking your channel seriously. Then you get those people that have been supporting you all along when your quality wasn't the greatest or whatever. As soon as you go out and step your game up, then you got people falling back like, oh, you think you better. Oh, you shouldn't even spend that money on no camera because you got 3 kids. Like, what in the world is wrong with people? Why can't you just be happy for your fellow sister that just step their game up. Like I never understand people that hate in those type of circumstances. Like I don't get it. I just wanted to talk about that because we was just talking about this for like 40 minutes about just like how why our community never gets ahead and why we can never pull each other up, because we're constantly hating, or you don't want somebody, if you started off on the same playing field and then you see somebody rising above you, you know, you start to get like some sort of feeling inside of you where it's like, oh hell no, like you're not gonna be better than me, or you're not gonna have more than me, or you're not gonna. But why? Because if one of us win, all of us could win. Like, yeah, I don't understand why people don't get that. Like, I just, that's why, like I told y'all, I try to stay out of groups. I try to stay off of the chat pages. Like, I really don't surround myself with like a bunch of people, because I've seen it so many times over and over again, like just how people are and how damaging those type of situations are when you surround yourself with like a bunch of people and everybody has a different way of thinking. Everybody's feelings are completely different when it comes to certain issues. Like, it just gets way too messy. And you know, like, no matter what you say or how you put yourself out there, people are still gonna judge you. People are still gonna have something to say. You know, and I'm a big believer in like you definitely have a right to your opinion, especially with this YouTube stuff. Like, y'all know I give my opinion most of the time, and I don't really feel any type of way. Like, I have strong opinions about certain things, and people judge the God of me. Okay, people judge me, one, because I curse, you know, and people seem to be so offended by a grown person cursing. Like, I don't have any children in your shot when I'm cursing, and I'm educated. Like, it's not that I have to curse. Like, I've talked about this before, but again, you have people out there that no matter what you do, you know what I mean? Like, they will have something to say. Like that other, you know, certain videos that I make where I'm giving my opinion, people have unsubscribed, left me messages. If I talk about something, I remember when I used to vlog in my BMW, and I used to get so many comments like, "Oh, you just want to show that you have a BMW. Oh, you just want to show off, or you just want to prove that you better than people because you." Really? All the years that I had that freaking truck, never did I ever mention it. Did I show it? None of that. But as soon as I did, when I started doing, I think I did like 3. If I remember, I'll leave the links below. But I think I privated, or if not, deleted those videos because they were like old and bad quality. But I remember I did like 3 videos in the car, in the Beamer, and I just had like so much negative comments because at the time I think I had got a new phone, and when I wasn't sure which way it was recording, like which was the best way, and I had turned the phone one way and you could see the emblem in the truck of the BMW, and somebody was like, "Oh, you did that purposely. You just wanted people to see that you had a BMW." But sweetheart, I've been had a BMW, and all those other 100 or something videos, I never showed it. So now this particular video, I'm showing off. You see what I'm saying? Like, so that's why I'm like, it don't matter what you do. Just do you. Be you. Don't water yourself down because you're trying to appease to whomever. Because people are going to judge you. They are going to freaking have something to say. They're gonna talk about you. Like, I'm sure people talk about me on here, you know, behind the scenes. That's just what it is, and I don't feel any type of way about that. I really I really do not. And I feel like if you make videos and you put yourself out there, especially vloggers, and you put your life out there, you have to kind of expect that people are going to judge you or have their opinions about you, and there's really nothing wrong with that. You know, the only time when I get really upset with that is when people come at me in a disrespectful way. That is when I have to let you know I'm not too good with the disrespectfulness. You know what I mean? Like, I could take criticism. I have taken people's comments that may not have been so nice, but if they came at me in the correct way, we could discuss it. Trust me. Like, I appreciate that, you know? But that disrespectful gutter trying to bully me or trying to shame me or try to make me feel some type of way, I'm not the girl for that, okay? Because that's when I get all the way turned up, and y'all know I start seeing black, and then that's when Brooklyn, my former Brooklyn Crystal has to come out, and then it gets a little crazy. But back to the main point of judgment. Like, I don't really know how to tell people not to judge, because that's really not a reality. Like, all of us make judgments about people, whether we admit to it or not, or whether we think we're doing it or not. Like, I remember having another conversation with somebody else, and I was saying, like, I don't judge people, but that's not really true. Everything that you think about when it comes to somebody else, if you have some sort of opinion, it's sort of like a judgment. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on how you go about expressing that opinion or that judgment, So I don't know. I just wanted to come say that. How many minutes is this? 16 minutes. 16 minutes later. Let me know what you guys think about judgments. Do you think that there is a difference between judgments and opinions? And do you think that people are like their own downfalls when it comes to helping each other rise? Like, when you're trying to build like a community of good, strong, positive people all doing the same thing, do you think like most people are their own faults? Because as soon as somebody rises above you, or they start doing better than you, then that's when the hate comes in. That's when the shade starts happening and all that type of stuff. Leave the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Talk to you later.